people usually get more and more happy about the work that they do as they get older. However, it's becoming more and more difficult for young people to enjoy their jobs or even find work that they got an education in. So recent reports indicate that nearly half of graduates from 4-year colleges are in jobs that don't require a 4-year degree, which goes to the whole issue of underemployment. We talk about unemployment quite a bit, but underemployment is also a rapidly growing issue among millennials. Now, for those of you who forgot what Cenk's views are on underemployment, let's take a quick look to refresh your memory. We always talk about people who don't have jobs, which sucks, right? But what about all of the college students who graduate, they have a diploma, but they never get to utilize it. They end up working as waiters, waitresses, bartenders, those kinds of things.
I'm not buying it too much.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah, like underemployed sounds like something a lib made up. Like, I'm employed, but I feel a little underemployed.
Like, Cenk, okay, heaven forbid, right? Like, you lose your job here, which would be impossible, right?
No, nothing's impossible.
All right, but let's say you're no longer working here and you need to find a job, and all of a sudden you're working as a barista.
Yeah.
You're underemployed. That's not a made-up thing.
It's made up. You know what? I'm employed. I'm a barista. Okay, like I think I should be doing better, right? But that's only in my head. Okay, can I tell you something? Now that I rewatched that, I'm doubling down. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, as I watched.
What are you doing?
As I watched it, I was like, that's a compelling point that I just made.
You made a terrible point. You made a terrible point. Okay, let me give you guys actual evidence as opposed to emotion.
Okay, sure. Emotion.
So,
who's the emotional one?
yeah.
Here? Okay, yeah.
I'm coming correct with facts.
Okay, all right.
And I'm doing so passionately.
Okay.
There's a difference between coming correct with facts and doing so in a persuasive tone.
I see. That's the argument I normally make.
And you making
like when I'm normally yelling at Ben or Michael, I'm like, I'm not necessarily being irrational here, even though I'm passionate about this.
I would like to get to the substance.
Facts, please.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In 1980, the average worker earned the median wage by the time they were 26. Now the average age for that achievement is 30. Now that doesn't even take into account the tremendous amount of student loan debt that these millennials have to basically take out just so they can get their education. So for you to say that underemployment isn't an issue is so ridiculous, Cenk, because they go to school, they get the degree, there aren't enough jobs in the field that they want to work in, and as a result, they have to take jobs that don't even pay them a living wage, okay? They're getting paid a minimum wage, and they have to pay off their student loan debt in addition to all the bills that they have. That's underemployment.
So you're going to still cry about this?
I don't understand why.
All right. Look, I'm obviously playing about that last one. Look, here, let me give you one more fact to back it up too. Older Americans now make 44 times, or have 44 times much wealth as younger Americans. That's up from only 13 times as much back in 1984. So that's the earliest or the latest numbers we have is from 2009. So that's a huge disparity. And so things have gotten worse for younger people in America, partly because of the debt that Anna's talking about, partly because they can't get good jobs coming out. And like she pointed out, about half of the people are at jobs that don't even need a college degree. Do I disagree with any of that? Of course not. Those are facts. There's nothing to disagree with, right? And things have gotten much tougher. So, look, all I'm saying, I'm not saying it's not harder. It is, right? And I'm not saying we have a just system. All we do on this show is try to fix that injustice that we see in the system. It's just, I feel the word is made up. Like, okay, you have a job. You don't like your job. You think you should have a better job. You're probably right. You're probably right. But like you've made up a word for it, like I'm underemployed. Okay, I mean, I guess. But then, and look, I don't want people, I don't know if this is even a real thing, but I don't want people getting complacent like, oh, I'm underemployed, so I shouldn't even take that job. I would be underemployed. No, take the job and then see what comes next and work your way up. Like it sucks, and we're trying to fix the system. But I don't want people getting down because of that and then not even trying. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think people are going to take the option of living on the streets when they can take a job that pays them barely enough money to make, ends meet. I think they'll take the fast food job or whatever it is. But to deny that underemployment is an issue is terrible because it's something that does have to be addressed at some point. And I think one of the best ways to address it is to do something about the cost of higher education. Do something to educate people about the fields that they're going to work in prior to actually going to college.
So,
all of those things. But also, we right now have created a system where we allow the corporations to get these massive tax cuts because they're supposed to create the jobs, right? They're supposed to use that wealth to create more jobs. They're not doing that. So right now, the bulk of the country works in an industry that isn't paying them enough money.
So if you go issue by issue, will I agree with you that, for example, the minimum wage should be raised? Of course, right? And if the minimum wage had kept up with productivity, what we actually produce as workers in America, right now I think it'd be above $20. In fact, it's at $7.25. So on issue by issue, I agree with you. It's just, look, when you're coming out of college, right, you're loaded down with debts. And so then now you're getting even worse jobs and you can't pay the debts. And so what happens? Well, then that will lead to a different equilibrium where people will start to say, hey, maybe then college isn't worth it, right? Or I'd rather go to a public college than go to a fancy, higher institution of learning or whatever. Although public colleges, some of them are great, right? And then you'll hopefully get to a better equilibrium if the laws aren't fixed against you, which we think they are, right? But I don't think any of that is like addressed by just calling it like the underemployed. I don't know. I don't like the word.